everybody, and welcome back to my channel, and I'm super excited to get into today's video. If you are familiar with this channel and you're cozy, welcome back, and if you are new, welcome. We are super glad to have you guys here. Please leave a like and subscribe if you like what you see by the end of this video. And for a proper introduction, my name is Bo. I'm 31 years old and I live in a high cost of living area. I live in Seattle, Washington, on a journey to retire early. Before retirement age, I want to reach over $1 million. And so that is the journey that I'm taking you guys on as well. So if you're into that, please stay tuned and we will get right into the video. So today I wanted to take you guys through 3 decisions that literally changed my life and basically determined the trajectory of my life as it is today. I strongly believe that you are the decisions that you make, as unfortunate as that is. And if I hadn't made these decisions, I really don't think that I would have been able to necessarily step outside or deviate from the patterns that I grew up seeing in my nuclear family. So if you're into that, let's just start with decision number 1. And decision number 1, outside of choosing to go to college, it was choosing to major in a STEM major in college. This was by far the most important decision that I feel like I've ever made in my life. And I know a lot of people say that, college is a scam and you shouldn't go to college. And, while I can see why some people do say that, I believe that that rhetoric is very dangerous, especially because though we don't want to admit it, higher education is still the most common way that a lot of people change their tax bracket and leave poverty or the lower class to join the middle class. And it definitely helped me move my life in that way as well. When it comes to my major, I majored in biology. And a lot of people still say, if you're not going into a medical career, that biology is a useless degree. You don't make a lot of money with a biology degree. And I think that comes from not knowing what all you could do with the degree. Like most, I did plan to go to medical school with my biology degree and continue my education. But by the time I got my bachelor's degree, I couldn't afford to go to school anymore. I had racked up $75,000 in student loan debt. And there was no way that if I had gotten more student loan debt that I would be debt free right now. So I quit school after I got my bachelor's degree and I just went straight into the workforce. I pursued a tech job and then it eventually landed me within the clinical research and biopharma industry, which I think a lot of people just don't realize. You can get into this industry with a biology degree. You don't have to be a doctor or a biology teacher with a biology degree. The good thing about this degree was that growing up, I did like science. I liked the fun aspects of biology. I liked playing with bugs. I liked learning about plants. I liked classifying trees. And so I wanted to have a job that was similar to the things that I liked in that aspect, but then also have choices that were practical if those jobs turned out to not be good for me or didn't pay the bills the way that I needed them to have a comfortable life. So when I did graduate, I had a lot of jobs that were tertiary or that were parallel to my biology degree. I worked in EMS for a time. I worked in the museum industry for a time. And, those were fun, very fun, fulfilling careers in their own way that expanded on my biology degree, but they did not pay the bills the way that I needed them to. The museum industry was very shaky. Your museum experience, while enriching, a lot of times museums are not for profit, and because of that, they're not able to pay the way that a lot of those workers do deserve, or as knowledgeable as they are. So that is why I decided to make the pivot into clinical research, into something that is, I would say, practical. While it's not the most fun, I deliberately decided to go into a field that's not fun so that I can fund my hobbies outside of work that I do enjoy. And because of that, I think I have been able to make very practical financial decisions. And a lot of people, I know you don't want to hear that you should go to school in something that will get you paid. It's not the most ethical thing to say, but your passions aren't always going to be able to pay your bills. If you are able to pay your bills doing your passion, that's amazing. Super happy for you. And I want that for everybody in the world. But if you're just trying to survive and get out of poverty, aiming for a STEM career before college, through college, after college saved my life. Decision number 2, the reason why I am basically as successful as I am and on my way to where I want to be in life is the partner that I chose. Who you surround yourself with can make or break you. It literally means life and death. You are the average of the people that you spend the most time around, and that also goes for romantic relationships. I am not telling you to leave your current husband, boyfriend, wife, girlfriend, anything like that, but just keep in mind that the people that you have in your life, the people that you have in your circle, the people that you have in your stratosphere is a direct reflection of who you are as a person. That's not always a nice thing to say. There are a lot of people who are in relationships that are unfortunate and that they're trying to get out of. And I definitely started out that way as well. People who see you and who know that person and might have negative feelings about that person, they will transfer that feeling on to you if they don't know you, because who you surround yourself with, it speaks for itself. It does, as unfortunate as that sounds. And that's why a lot of people, as they elevate in life or as they start to work for a specific goal, if they have a circle of friends or a friend or partner who does not align with that goal, that's why they often split, because your core values just no longer match and it's going to become an obstacle for you to reach the goal that you're trying to reach. I met my husband 8 years ago, first job out of college, at a very vulnerable state in my life. My husband and I grew up with completely different backgrounds. I grew up very low middle class until about 2008 when the crash happened. And then it was just downhill from there. Whereas my husband grew up solidly middle class, pretty comfortable, 2 vacations to 1 vacation a year, very comfortable, 2-parent household. I don't feel like we would have been able to even cross paths had I not done my first decision, which is go to school, choose a STEM career. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have gotten that first tech job right out of college and met him, and none of this would be possible. It's just really important to choose a partner who you mesh with. And I don't just mean looks. I don't just mean you guys like the same kind of music, but core values, not just religion, but how do you guys spend your money? How do you want to raise your kids? Where do you want to raise your kids? Do you value private education versus public? What do you want to do in terms of gift giving and giving to charity? Those are very important things that I guess when you're in your early 20s, like I was when I met my husband, you don't necessarily care about, but they're good questions and good things to be on the same page with if you're going to have a life partner, because it translates today for me to a partner that wants to do life with me in a way that fits both of our lifestyles. There's not much butting heads because our core values meet in the middle. This is super important, again, just because the person who you choose to marry, if you do decide to get married, will determine the trajectory of your life. You have to guard your being. You have to really be careful who you decide to expand your phylogeny and your legacy with, because it really can make or break you as a person. The third and final decision that I made that changed my life for the better is moving out of my hometown to go to college in a different city, moving out of that city for more career opportunities, and then moving from that city to this high cost of living area where the jobs are, where the money is, where the industry at the time was booming. That decision definitely helped me to be on the path to being rich in my 30s. And I believe that because where I grew up in rural Illinois. There were not that many scientific places for one to work. If you wanted to work at the U of I, you could do that, but outside of that, not really. And living in Champaign, the cost of living is very low. And because of that, the pay is also on the lower end. And I wanted more, right? So I went to school in Chicago and got my first job in Chicago, and it was great until about 2020. And I felt like I needed a change, which is why we ended up moving to the West and why I am in Seattle now. And if you guys saw my salary projection video that I posted maybe 2 months ago, you will see that when I was living in Chicago, I was making under $50,000. And then in Denver, also under 50 until I got a supervisorial position that landed me in the 60,000 mark, that also allowed me to make the jump to industry and to get over that 60 and 70 and 80,000 mark with my salary. Now that I have the salary that I want and that I am more established, I would feel comfortable moving back to the Midwest because of the experience that I gained from moving across the country for the past 4 to 5 years. But I honestly don't think that I would have been able to have this experience had I stayed put in Champaign or even in Chicago, Illinois. So those are the 3 decisions that helped me on my path to financial freedom before the age of 65. They are just 3 of the ones that I found were the most important, but there are so many more that people can make that I haven't even mentioned. There's more that I made that I haven't even mentioned. So what I want to know is what you guys think. What did you guys do in your lives in order to get you to where you are today? How did you take charge of your financial journey through action? That's what I want to know in the comments below. So please leave a comment below and I will see you in the next video.